friends, it's Life Coach Rich. So coming to you today, making some more business lessons videos. So I was told to vacate basically my leadership was not needed any longer at a company that I helped build. Helped merge two companies together. And then after that, after everything is stable, the customer base, the employees, the employee culture, a lot of that's all stable now. Pricing structure. Then I was told my leadership's no longer needed. Now, how can they do that? It's because I'm an at-will employee. So I have looked at different things. Alec Hermosi's a business person online, and so about mergers and partnerships and stuff like that. And so one of the things that he was saying, as far as a partnership video that I was looking at, he was saying that you always think about the worst case scenario. So that's something that I didn't do. We had talked about, merging these two companies together and then being together for the next 5, 10 years. Of course, I understood that I was coming on as an at-will employee, but also signed a 5-year non-compete, which is beyond normal. But I just didn't think about that. I didn't think about, okay, it should have only been a 2-year non-compete, maybe a 3-year non-compete. If I'm an at-will employee. Otherwise, if you want me to sign a 5-year, we'll then negotiate and say, okay, well, you're gonna, if I choose to leave, this is the deal. If you choose to let me go, get rid of me, whatever, an at-will employee, you can come in and say that you're done. And so I wasn't doing anything immoral, illegal, anything like that. It was just a difference of some views related to the owner and my views. And that's okay. I was trying the best I could to accommodate his wishes, and I thought that I had. And so he said, "Yeah, let's figure out a plan if we're not able to go in this direction." And so didn't get any other feedback related to that. I thought everything was good. But going into the slower season, well, then he said, "It's time for you to move on. I'm going to promote this other person internally." So what I didn't think, I was naive, and so what you want to do is I want other people to learn. We grow wiser and we're able to live more wisely whenever we learn from other people's mistakes. So that's why I want you to learn from my mistake. Is that we just kind of looked at it through rosy colored glasses in a sense. We're looking ahead to the next 5, 10 years. But what happens if you're told after the merger of the company, after everything's stable, a month and 4 years into the 5-year non-compete, that your leadership's no longer welcome here? Even though multiple employees said I was the best boss they ever had. So it shows that there's just a difference of perspective from the owner, and the owner has all of the cards. He has all of the power. Why? It's because I didn't write that into the contract. So what Alex Hermosi was saying is that related to partnerships or mergers or anything like that, then you want to look at the worst case scenario. So you want to make a situation where it's a win-win situation. Instead of a win-lose, I lost. The company won. He has all negotiating power. He has all the power, and then it didn't leave me with anything. So make it a win-win situation instead of a win-lose. In my situation, it was a win-lose. How could I have made it a win-win? Well, I could have had just a 3-year non-compete, and then it could have been. We could have said, okay, if I choose to leave, this is what it looks like. If you choose to get rid of me, well, then the non-compete shortens. Maybe it's only a 2-year now. If you choose to get rid of me, well, then you're buying me out for this other lost wages over this many years. Anticipated, you're gonna pay me out related to the 5 years, the at least minimum that I expected to work there, if not 10 years. We talked about growing the business a lot larger and scaling the business for the next 5 to 10 years. And then now I'm out after a year and 4 months. Okay. So what happens if you choose to let me go after a year, after 2 years, after 3 years, after 4 years, 5? Scale something out so that you're going to get compensation, so that you have some leverage, so that you have a buyout, so that you have something there related to the lost income, that if they just choose, yeah, I don't want, thank you, I want you to move along, and I'm going to get this other person leadership over there. Then what was the buyout? It's kind of like you think about college coaches, college football coaches or something. They have a buyout. They have a contract for a certain amount of years and then a buyout. If you want to go ahead and you've got a 10-year contract or a 5-year contract and you want to buy me out after 1 year, then this is the rest of what it is. I didn't think about that. I really think that you need to look at it from the worst case perspective. And it's not a situation of, oh, you're just a pessimist. Oh, you're just gloom and doom or something. No. You want to, you're excited, you're emotionally invested when you get to a point of selling business. And then you're looking at all of the things that you can build together. You can look at the future and you're looking at that. But before you look at the future, you have to look at now and the near future so that if you separate, then it's all written out. There's things in place to protect you. And that's what I want you to think about. We didn't have anything written in place to protect us from getting the raw end of a deal. And that's what happened. And so I want you to learn from that perspective. Have the lawyers think about it. What would have the lawyers think about it from your perspective, and is this the best case scenario for you? And it's not like you're living in fear or something like that, but you're just not being naive, and that's what I'm saying. I was looking to the future. I didn't see it coming, but we didn't have anybody advising us from that perspective of look at it from the worst case scenario. And you definitely want to look at it from that perspective. If they were to do this, would you be okay? That's what you need to have written in the contract. If they did this, how would you still feel like you're okay? How would you still feel like this is a win-win instead of just they won and you lost, and you sort of got used and manipulated in the process? That's what you don't want to happen at the end. You don't want to feel like you're used and manipulated in that process, because it's a tough pill to swallow. It's been difficult. If they chose to get rid of you, and you say, well, they're never going to do that. You don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you and this other person you're in partnership with have been friends for a long time, that known each other since grade school. What if you want to go and do something different, they want to go and do something different and drop you, or go with another friend that they have and drop you? Think about those kind of situations. That's what you have to think about, and then say, well, why do we have to do that? Well, because you don't want to be used and manipulated in the process. You don't want to get to a point where it's a win-lose. And then also, if everything works out, you'll never need it. But if it doesn't work out, you have it instead of needing it and not having it. That's the point. If everything works out and you're there together for the next 10 years and it's great and it's awesome, y'all scaled the business, wonderful. But if it didn't work out, and not because of anything that you were doing, but it's just that the leadership now has all the negotiating power. They have all the power to say yay or nay. So if they got to a point of saying you need to leave, then how would it still be okay? How think of that situation where you're like, okay, I don't like it, but it softens that blow of they had to buy me out related to this other 2 years. They had to do this, or they shortened the non-compete, so that I can go and start the same kind of business, after a certain period of time. Anyway, that's the first thing, is you have to think of the worst case scenario and then write that into the contract so that it's a win-win instead of a they win and you lose. That's my first lesson in that, and I'll do some others.